Hello, my name is Paulino Gale Gonzalez. I am a student of Preparatoria Tech Milenio and I'm going to talk about the Cold War. To begin, we need to understand what the term Cold War is referring to. The aftermath of World War II left Germany divided between Great Britain, the United States, and the Soviet Union. If you remember from previous courses, the Soviet Union was going through a lot of economical and political changes almost since the beginning of the century when they removed the Tsar figure. Important to recall communism as the main characteristic of the Soviet Union. Going back to the German division, the west part was occupied by Great Britain, United States, and France. On the other side, the east part belonged to the Soviet Union. Since political and economic systems were drastically different, the ideas of both parties collided. To resume it in one sentence, power and ideology. Before we go deeper into the topic, I would like to explain each economic system involved in the conflict. First, capitalism. This is probably the economical system your country has adopted. There exists private property of means of production, such as factories, mines, etc. Adam Smith is considered a key figure in the development of economics, and especially capitalism. Economic system in which private individuals or businesses own capital goods. At the same time, business owners employ workers who receive wages. Labor does not own the means of production but only uses them on behalf of the owners of the capital. Its counterpart, communism. This system aspires to create a classless society, meaning there are no rich or poor classes. All means of production such as factories, mines, etc. are owned and controlled by the government. There is no personal property either. In this system, figures like the government are predominantly present, so the wealth is divided among the citizens equally and according to the needs of each one. Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels are the main figures that proposed this system in the Manifesto of the Communist Party in 1848. Socialism, which is often confused with communism, is an ideology derived from it. This concept basically relies on the social organization of the distribution of income and means of production. In a phrase, everything that one produces is a social product because everyone who contributed to the production of it should be entitled to a share of it. This system is seen as a transition from capitalism to communism. Main figures of this include Soviet leader Vladimir Lenin, who was notorious for supporting authoritarianism and made changes to the system. With that explained, we can now go a little deeper. After the German division, West Europe was under control of the Soviet Union, meaning they were under communist system. This concerned the United States and thus beginning to act to stop communism expansion. Another important thing is the scientific development race. After the USA had bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945, the war entered in a race to develop better weapons that matched the power of the atomic bomb. In 1947, USA announced the Truman Doctrine, in which they offered help to the nations under communist thumb, and therefore officially starting the conflict. In 1948, the USA put into action the Marshall Plan, which intended to help Europe financially after the World War II. But of course, the East Bloc didn't receive such help. The contrast between the two systems was notorious in Germany. This led to a series of political issues that gradually forbid travel between the west and east parts. The Cold War has shaped the world as we now know it. It uh, it made a lot of changes socially and politically, and of course economically worldwide. And uh, for example, Germany, it somehow reunited Germany again with the Berlin Wall. It changed things in the country. Globally, there was the Korean War, the Vietnam War, uh, the involvement of China. There's a lot of things that weren't included here, but I would have loved to. Um, yes, it lasted a long period of time, so of course a lot of things were involved in this. Uh, this social movements in the 60s and 70s of, as we are now know it, the hippie people, where the main word was peace. So of course this also pushed, especially the USA, to move and behave differently. Of course, also the scientific development race was a really huge step and a really huge thing at the time. The moon landing, the development in the space, it was really awesome. And of course, I imagine that for the people at the time, it was somewhat scary because it didn't, it wasn't just about going to the space. It was also about developing weapons. So it was probably a scary time, but now that thankfully it is over between between these two potencies, the war seems going better. I think a lot of things changed and a lot of things improved, but there's a lot of way we have to go. We have a long way to go.